Hello, hello, hello. Let's see if I can turn this up a little bit. How's everyone doing tonight? Charlie and Connie are in the house.
Hey.
It's strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's going on? If you are coming on live, please show us, let us know, comment below and let us know that you are watching or that you see us. And if you're watching the replay, let us know that you're watching the replay by commenting replay. And we're going to talk to you guys tonight about your beliefs and your belief system as far as, you know, what you believe about food, what you believe about yourself. Hey, Kristen. Kristen Downs is here. Hi, how are you? Good to see you. There's Laura. Hi, Laura. Good evening. She's watching live as well. Let me see if I need to, well, I shouldn't have to invite anyone. They should all know, right?
Angela Stevens.
Just joined, yeah. Hi, Angela and Taylor. Christine says she's doing well. Good, good. Let us know how you guys are doing. And once again, please invite your friends and your family to this group page. We'll have our live drawing tomorrow night for some awesome prizes. And tonight, looks like Charlie has on his Texas Rangers jersey.
That's right. So last week I did the Cowboys because it was the kickoff of the NFL season. So in honor of that, I wore my Cowboy jerseys, which brought them good luck on Sunday because they rolled over the New York Giants.
Whoa. So guess who has theirs on tonight, huh? Dallas Cowboys. Who's that on the back?
Witten.
Oh, yes.
Old man Witten.
No. I wonder if Gary will be watching tonight.
Does he get on here?
Maybe sometimes he does. Maybe I should invite him.
Oops.
Oh, whoop. Hit the wrong one. Hit the wrong one. There it goes.
So tonight I did the Texas Rangers because there are only, after tonight, about 20 more games left. So
They're still playing?
yeah. So it goes through the first week of October, and the Rangers are one game below 500. So they're not going to make the playoffs this year.
That's too bad.
But we do love the Rangers.
Yes. Hey, Valerie. Valerie says hello. There's Memory. Hi, Memory. Hey, JC. Okay. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. If you decide to, pop on here, you can go ahead and below just say hello to us or whatever, okay? But Charlie, what are we talking about tonight, huh?
Yeah, never mind.
Huh? What are we going to talk about tonight?
So we're going to keep talking about what we started last week. We're talking about kind of the psychology of food and what you think about food.
Mm-hmm.
We started last week and just kind of building a foundation and knowing why we do what we do. And so I was just going to kind of recap quickly some of the things we talked about last week. We talked about the fact that health and fitness is a benefit, and that's a benefit that everybody wants. And I looked it up this week. Health and fitness is a $98 billion industry. So if $98 billion is being spent on people trying to get in shape, what does that tell you? It's important to everybody.
Yeah.
It's a benefit that everybody wants. So what we said, though, was that in order to get benefits, you have to have what? The right behaviors. So you can't enjoy benefits if you don't have the right behaviors. In other words, make the right choices. So we talked about, on the job, we talked about making friends, we talked about saving money, and we talked about, losing fat and getting in shape. That if that's the benefit that you want, then you're going to have the right behaviors. Yeah.
No, I'm just like, bad Connie.
So benefits are based on behavior or dependent upon behaviors.
Mm-hmm.
And then we talked about that behaviors are dependent upon beliefs. So if you remember, we talked about that most people, when they start an exercise program or a diet, they work on everything from here down, right? It's what goes in your mouth, and then you work on your body, what's in your stomach, you work on your arms, your legs, but pretty much the focus is on from here down. But what we said was that not only should you concentrate on the downstairs of health and fitness, but you need to work on the upstairs, which is from here up. The mental, the intellectual, the psychological, your belief system, what you think about food, what you think about yourself, what you think about exercise,
yes,
what you think about your potential. We call that your beliefs. And we said that why you eat is just as important as what you eat.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's some good little quips to write down and remember that, health and fitness is a benefit. Benefits are based on behavior. Behavior is based on beliefs. And if you remember, last week I told you guys that I read where of all the people that lose weight on a diet, they've done research. They followed these people around. It's funny. I never see anybody with a pad and pencil following me around. But these studies that are done, they follow people around.
Yeah.
And they found that 98% of the people that lose weight gain it all back within 1 to 2 years. So, so we asked, what is the difference? What makes the 2% different than the 98%? And I believe that it's that upstairs part. It's the mental part, the intellectual, the psychological, the belief system, that if you don't get your head and heart right, then you won't be successful long-term in the area of health and fitness. So tonight we're going to talk more about beliefs, but I came up with a slogan this week as I was thinking about this: reshape your beliefs and your beliefs will reshape you. So write that down and think about it. If you reshape your beliefs will reshape you.
That's right.
It says love your shirts.
Yeah, that's Amanda. The Melbys, of course, they're Dallas Cowboy fans, and they live in Oklahoma.
So does anybody like that? I want to get some feedback. Does that resonate with anybody? It's all up here. It starts up here. You can do diets, you can do exercise, but if you don't reshape what's going on up here, you're not going to have the long-term benefits.
It resonates with me for sure, because I am a mental person. Not to say a mental person as far as I need to be in an insane asylum, but I do overthink things a lot, and then also have a lot of stress because I overthink things. So back to you.
Well, I kind of like the way that flows. Reshape your beliefs will reshape you.
Yes.
So tonight I want to talk about a few things. First of all, I want to talk about the difference between obtaining information and forming beliefs. Okay. Then we're going to talk about the difference between being impulsive and being intentional. Okay.
Yeah.
And I can just give you a hint. I'll go ahead and jump to the end of the story. You want to be intentional.
Yeah.
You don't want to be impulsive.
Right.
But again, it all goes back to what's up here and your belief system. But first, let's talk about
They're all agreeing.
The difference between just gathering information and forming beliefs. So I had this crazy thought this week. I know that Angela Stevens just had her daughter just had their first baby here recently, and so she's a new grandma. And
she's a lolly.
A lolly. Okay.
Lolly and Pop. It's so cute.
Lolly and Pop.
I think it's adorable.
But anyway, I was just thinking about, this, and it kind of occurred to me, this weird question was, if a baby had a vocabulary, what do you think a baby's first words would be when they come out of the womb? What would be their first 3 to 4 word sentence when they come out of the womb?
Put me back.
Well, I thought of 2 things. My first thought was, it's bright out here.
Yeah, okay.
Like, who turned on the lights? But I can guarantee you, if not the first thing, I think probably in the top 5, the baby's first thoughts and first words would be, "Where's my food?"
Yeah.
Where's the food?
Right.
Because, when the baby's born, one of the, very first things is they immediately get them eating. So, that's like the baby's first experience, is like trying to gather information about how to find food. And from the very first second we're born, we start gathering information, and it's a lifelong process of everywhere we go, we are just gathering information.
Laura said, ouch.
Yeah, ouch. That's a good one.
Hurts out here. Yeah.
Hey there, guys. Is that what the baby said, or is she just saying that?
Yeah, she's the same.
Okay. Hello, everybody. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is, like, from the time we're born, and the doctor spanks us. Do they still do that?
Yeah, they pat them and stuff. Yeah.
Get you fixed up. We immediately start gathering information, and then if you think about it, as we're growing up, every book we read, every TV show we watch, every conversation we have, every sign that you see going down the road, every magazine, nowadays, every website that you look at, you are just constantly consuming information. And, the cool thing, some people might say it's cool, some people might say it's dangerous or whatever, but the thing about, we live in the information age, and so today, the billions of pieces of information are literally at your fingertips. So you could just Google it, whatever the subject may be, just Google it, and immediately you're flooded with new information.
Right.
So, where all do you get the information? You get it from your parents, you get it from your brothers and sisters, you get it from your friends, you get it from your teachers as you're growing up, going to school, you get it from your classmates. They're just sharing. They're sharing stories. They're sharing information. They're telling you about shows they've watched. They're telling you about, what their parents have told them. Coaches, when you get married, your spouse, you start getting a ton of information downloaded from them. Bosses, coworkers, churches, pastors. It's just a constant. Life is just a constant bombardment of information coming into you.
Yeah.
Some good, some bad, some neutral, some helpful, some not so helpful. But once it kind of comes in these ears or comes through these eyes, then it's like in your brain. It's downloaded from the computer into us, and so we've got all that information. Yeah. But think about this for a second. Not only is all that information in there, but also all the experiences that you've ever had. You know, when you took a bite of spinach for the first time as a kid, and you know, you either liked it or didn't like it. You know, to this day, I don't eat coleslaw, and the reason why, when I was in grade school, sitting in the lunchroom with a plate lunch, eating coleslaw, and I don't know if I was already sick or if the coleslaw made me sick, but I ate that coleslaw, and within seconds, I threw all that coleslaw up right there on the table in front of everybody.
Had a very bad experience.
Very bad experience.
An
embarrassing experience. Mm-hmm. So from that day till now, probably 50 years of no coleslaw. But it all goes back to that experience. So not only do I have a bunch of information about what is coleslaw, what does it look like, do other people like it, do people actually eat the stuff?
I eat it.
But I also have my experience of what happened to me one time when I ate coleslaw.
Yeah.
So all of that is jumbled up together, you know, in our minds. Good experiences we've had, bad experiences we've had, you know, good relationships, bad relationships.
Well, that brings me to a point. You know, people that have gotten divorced, say their name is John, and their daughter has a baby, and they come up with the name John. They're like, no, you're not going to name my baby John, because I had a bad experience with John.
I remember when we were first newly married, and we started talking about having kids, and we said, well, if we have a girl, what are we going to name it? And I would say, well, what about, you know, Betsy, for instance? And you're like, no. Why? Well, because I knew someone named Betsy one time.
Yeah.
You know, so your experience mixed with all your other information had you to make a choice.
Right.
So that's the way it is, you know, with obtaining information. You know, we're just information gatherers. We're information processors. All of that information and experiences is all up there in our brains, and your brain is the most powerful computer ever created. It's processing it at, you know, lightning speed, you know, millions of times a day, you know, millions of bits of information in split second. It's processing all the time without us actually being aware of it. But, you know, think about it. You have information about dieting and exercise that you've heard your whole life, either from teachers or from coaches or from television or from websites. What's the difference in that just being a piece of information and it actually becoming a core belief? Have you ever thought about that?
Yeah.
You know what's weird about doing these lives is, like, you're talking to a screen and there's no human feedback. I mean, there's the running comments on the side, but there's like no people. There's no human.
I'm here.
So I have to get used to it. Well, here's the thing: is like if all you have is just information, then you're going to be very impulsive. And what does that mean? Well, I thought about it this way. You're wearing your cowboy jersey. Coming up here in a few weeks I wish Gary was on for this one. Coming up here in just a few weeks at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas is going to be the Texas OU football game.
Red River
rivalry. Say that 10 times fast. Red River rivalry.
Red River rivalry.
But so my aunt is like the queen of the state fair. She has worked out there for 60 plus years. Yes, I did say 60 plus years.
Yep.
And she practically runs the whole place. And so over the years, she has gotten both me and Connie to work out there at the state fair. And Connie loves it. I hate it.
I love it. I love working out there.
I hate it.
I love it.
But the worst day for you to be working out there is the Saturday of Texas OU.
That's the truth.
Football.
That's the truth.
Because there are an extra 100,000 people there that day
Mm-hmm.
to watch the football game. And that's in addition to the couple of 100,000 are there just to go to the fair.
Yeah.
And so when the game lets out, which usually that game is like an 11 o'clock game, so somewhere between 2 and 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the stadium empties. And the midway is, they call the midway of the fair, is like the main, main runway through the middle of the fair where all the games and rides are.
Yeah.
That runway that midway just gets filled with people, and I mean shoulder to shoulder.
You cannot see the concrete.
You cannot see the concrete. You cannot see your feet. You cannot see past one person in front of you. And here's my point, is like, you'd have to see it to understand it, but it is so crowded and you are so jammed in there like sardines that you literally can only go where the crowd tells you to go. I mean, you're like, I just want to go over there and buy a State Fair corny dog. It's like 40 feet away. But the crowd says, no, we're going this way.
Yeah.
And so because we're all packed in there like sardines, it doesn't matter. You're going where the crowd says to go.
Yeah.
That's the way it is when we're impulsive. We basically just go where all those crazy thoughts and all that information, it's just like whatever thought comes up, that's what we do. You're driving down the road, you get hungry, it's like, hey, there's a McDonald's, whip in there and get you a quick hamburger. Why? Well, I've heard a million times on TV that McDonald's is your kind of place, and I deserve a break today.
It's in my brain.
Or if you're conditioned and you're not even thinking about it.
No.
You're just like,
you see it. You can see the golden arches.
All I know is I'm hungry. I got all these thoughts in my brain. It's like, have it your way at Burger King. There's a Burger King. Okay, I'll just go to Burger King. Why do you think restaurants spend billions of dollars in advertising? Because they're trying to get their name, their menu in your computer, in your brain, so that when that impulsive moment comes, hopefully their restaurant will be the one that you think of. Is there a McDonald's? Is there a Burger King? Is there an Applebee's?
Yeah.
And so they're playing that game because they understand how the human mind works. And so they're bombarding you with commercials and with advertisements and endorsements. It's like, hey, if you're cool, this is where you go eat. If you want to be healthy, you go eat here. We've got a new menu for you. We've got a cool kiosk for you to order and check out on. You don't even have to talk to anybody. They're just bombarding you with all this information. And if you don't take kind of ownership of your thoughts and your mind, then you're just going to be like a guy at the Texas OU game who's just like going wherever the crowd makes him go.
Right.
And whatever the impulse is at the moment, whatever thought wins out at that time, that's going to be the choice you make. And that's called being an impulsive eater. So, does that make sense?
Does that make sense, y'all?
Does it make sense to you?
Oh, yeah, it does. Yeah. Am I going to do it? I don't know. I don't want to. I don't want to be a slave to, other people or outside sources or commercials or anything like that. But, that's what happens when we listen to those outside sources and infiltrate our minds with.
Well, you can't help it that you're going to be you're going to be bombarded. You're going to gather the information whether you want to or not, because we're just bombarded. That's just our society.
But how do you combat it?
So here's the deal.
That's the thing.
It's like, how do you go from being impulsive to being intentional?
Yes.
So how would you like the ABCs of that?
I would.
Okay, the ABC.
Y'all, I don't ever know what he's going to talk about. So this is all, I'm hearing this for the first time too. So there you go. And Laura said, yep. Yeppers.
Yippers.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
hear it.
Does that mean yes?
Yes.
Okay.
That's one of those Pennsylvania
Oh.
things. You know, I'm just kidding, Laura.
So I thought of, what are the ABCs of being intentional rather than being impulsive? So first of all, before I say that, how many people we got watching us tonight?
Well, there's 8 to 10
so
far.
Good. So the A is aware. First of all, just like we need to come awake and be aware that, there are forces at work, vying for control of our thought life.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's the war of the brain, the war of the mind. The mind is the battlefield. And there are companies, there are forces at work that are trying to steer us in certain directions and persuade us to make certain choices with how we spend our money, how we spend our time,
Mm-hmm.
what we get involved in, who we support. But, so many people go through life just kind of in a daze, just kind of in a, just glazed over. I mean, have you ever driven to work and, like me, I've got a 40-minute commute, and there are days where I get to thinking about something and all of a sudden I'm 5 minutes away from the job and I'm like, how did I get here?
All the time.
I don't remember the last 15 minutes. I don't remember going over the bridge, over the lake. It's like,
scary.
Oh my God. So, a lot of people just kind of go through life on autopilot. And, they're just totally impulsive.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of going where the crowd goes, going where the family directs them to go, trying every new thing that comes down the pipe, just kind of like going with the flow. But it's like the first thing you got to do is be aware, awaken. The A stands for, awareness.
Google.
This is important, that, what's going on up here has a really big piece of why I'm being successful or unsuccessful in my fitness program. So the A is for awareness. Take inventory of your thoughts. I mean, just think about this. What do you actually know about food?
It's good. It's
what do you
energy for your body.
What do you know about nutrition?
Yeah. Okay. Here, y'all call out some stuff.
No, I'm just thinking. It's
you're thinking. Okay.
I'm just giving you some ideas of how to become more aware of your thoughts.
Okay.
Because one thing I thought today is you probably know more about food and nutrition than you actually give yourself credit for.
I think a lot of
that stuff gets suppressed.
Yeah.
If you're just on autopilot and you're being impulsive all the time and just kind of going with the flow, that stuff gets suppressed in our mind, and we kind of forget, that we actually know a lot. We actually have a lot of good information about food, nutrition, exercise. So, get out a piece of paper and just kind of jot down, hey, here's what I know about what's good for me and what's bad for me. And just take inventory. So the B, break it down. Break down your thoughts. Once you're aware and awake, it's sort out between what's good and valuable and beneficial. Remember, my whole thing is we're going after benefits. So it's there's a lot of thoughts and beliefs I have, but there's other thoughts and beliefs about food that I have that are either just neutral or could be destructive.
Mm-hmm.
Let me give you an example. One good belief about food is we should be counting our calories. We should be keeping an account of how many calories we consume every day. That's a good, valuable thought. That's a valuable thought that if I elevate that and put that over on the good side, that's going to bring me some benefit. So that's a good one.
And that's basically what Coach Clint tells us every single Wednesday night.
Yep.
To count your calories, because if you don't, there'll be some poundage that you could have lost if you would have counted your calories. Yep. Okay, so yeah. It's a good thing.
So here's another thought and belief I have held about food, and that is going out to eat lunch every day with the guys is cool. Going out to eat lunch every day with the guys makes me look good, in their eyes. Going out every day with the guys to eat lunch makes me part of the team.
Makes you cool.
Makes me hip.
Oh, wow.
So here's a concept for you that I didn't throw out at the beginning. But the reason you need to break down, first of all, become aware of your thoughts. Mm-hmm. But number two, break it down and categorize them between good and bad, because actually what we have going on in our mind is competing beliefs. Competing beliefs. So I've got one belief that says, I need to just drink water and I need to really watch my calories every day at lunch because that's very beneficial. That's going to help me. It's going to get me closer to my goals. But I've got this other competing belief of, man, eating lunch with the guys makes me look good, makes me look like a big shot, shows them that I'm important, or shows them that I'm, part of the clique, whatever. Excuse me. And so though I've got those two competing beliefs going on in my mind. So after you wake up and after you take stock of your beliefs and you kind of categorize them between good and bad, helpful and unhelpful, then the next thing, the C, is commit resources. So what does that mean? That means time, money, or energy, that you're actually going to commit to it. Now, I want to tell you guys a story. How are we doing on time tonight? We're doing all right.
We're good.
I don't know if this was a movie or if it was a commercial or if it was like a news story that actually happened. But in my mind, I remember that there was a car dealership and the car dealership was going to give away a car. Mm-hmm. So in the showroom, they had 10 cars, let's say. But the way they were going to do it was early one Saturday morning. If you wanted to try to win the car, you had to come up to the showroom and you had to first of all, pick the car you wanted. So see, that kind of sounds to me like benefits. I know what I want. I know what my goal is. I know what victory looks like to me. So first of all, you had to pick the car that you wanted.
Right.
Then you had to basically lay your hands on the car. It's you had to put your hands on the hood or put your hands on the roof or, on the door handle. That's the commit. And, the way they did it was, other than bathroom breaks, you could not leave that car. You had to stay in physical contact with that car until everybody else dropped off. And after hours and hours and hours of this, you might have to start off with 10 people with their hands on the same car. But little by little over time, they would give up and they would drop out. But after hours and hours, it finally came down to a couple of people who still, had their arms or their hands on that car, basically in their mind saying, this is what I have chosen. This is what I'm committed to. I'm not letting go. And to me, that's what belief is. That's changing from something just being information only to being a belief is when, what they say?
Christine.
Oh, yeah.
I would wear a diaper and stand there all day.
Right. Now, see, that's commitment.
That's what I would do.
You've got it. So that Eureka, you just learned something, because that's committing resources. That's
you made it work.
Time,
yeah,
and resources to what you wanted.
Right.
You believed, you to the point that you're going to wear a diaper if you have to, and you're not going to abandon that car.
That's a good idea.
But do you get what I'm saying? Is like a belief. People throw the word belief around too loosely.
True.
They say, well, do you believe in eating well? Oh, yeah, I believe everybody should eat right. Well, do you really? Or how quickly do you take your hands off of that car?
Wow.
If eating right is the car that you're trying to win, are you willing to stay there day and night, not let go, wear a diaper if you have to, and come heck or high water, you are not abandoning that car because you believe in it so much? That's what you want. You've got to have it.
Yeah.
You're not going to take no for an answer.
Yeah.
That's belief.
Wow.
Otherwise it's just information. Hey, guess what? They're having a kind of a cool event down at the car dealership today. There's a bunch of crazy people down there laying hands on cars,
wearing diapers,
hoping that they can walk out of there with a car or drive out of there with a brand new car.
Yeah.
But that's the way we are with our
absolutely
fitness and weight loss programs. Yes. Is that we say that's what we want, and we have all the right information. We know what to do, but we haven't turned that information into a belief. And the way you do that is by committing to it, by emotionally, mentally, and physically committing to it and saying, this is what I'm latching onto, and I'm not letting go of it. I don't care what anybody said. You tell me I'm crazy. Tell me it's not going to work. Tell me whatever you want to tell me. But, I've settled it. This is the one I'm going home with.
Yeah.
This is the benefit that I'm, really focused on and that I want in my life. And I'm not letting go.
And, we're talking about food choices and stuff here, but I mean, the principles that he's talking about tonight can be applied to anything in your life.
Anything. As a matter of fact, the way I've been thinking about it is, like on your job.
Yeah.
Keeping your job or getting promoted on your job. It's like you have to get your mind right about that, practice the right behaviors, and commit to it. Don't just keep it at the information level, but commit resources to it. I believe that having a good job and keeping a good job is one of the most important things I can do as a husband and father. So I've committed to it. I commit to having clothes to wear to work, a car to drive to work, have a working alarm clock.
Michelle says you're stepping on toes.
Not really, but I've got the clothes, I've got the car, I've got the alarm clock. Mm-hmm. That's one car on the showroom floor that I'm not letting go of, because I have a deep rooted belief that one of my callings is to be a provider. Mm-hmm. And so, that belief is so deeply rooted in me that I'm not letting go of that. You cannot pry that away from me. Yeah. Other folks, it's not so deeply rooted. They're just like, if I lose this job, I can always get another. They don't like me down there anyway. Some of those competing beliefs start to come into play. Yeah. And when those competing beliefs come in there, that's where you've got to take a stand and say, look, I know what I believe in. I know what I'm committed to. I know what I've laid my hands around, and you're not going to be able to pry this away from me. I'm going to work.
Absolutely.
I'm showing up. I'm going to work.
Yep.
Saving money. Let's say your goal is to save money. If you believe that's a good thing, that's beneficial, then what do? You open a savings account, first of all. You try to eliminate wasteful spending. You maybe draw up a budget, start balancing. Does anybody balance their checkbook anymore? You do it all online, right? But
bet you there's some out there.
But you keep it all in balance, keep everything in balance. Michelle, is that a good thing or a bad thing you're doing there?
Oh, she's saying you're on fire.
Oh, okay. Just making sure I'm reading that right.
Well, we're behind. She'll catch him.
Oh, I got you. But it's so true in every area of your life. Just kind of take stock. It's like, what do I really want? I want to be successful on my job. I want to have good friends.
Yeah.
I want to be able to save money, and I want to get my body in shape and be fit and be healthy and live a long, happy life. If those are the things that you want, then wake up, take stock of your thoughts. Maybe, you've been kind of impulsive and just been kind of being led around by the crowd or your feelings or just whatever sounds good at the moment. But then when you separated what's good from what's bad, then just like commit, grab hold of it, just like that person that grabs hold of the automobile and doesn't let go. That's when all that information gets separated from information on one side and beliefs on the other side. And the beliefs are the ones that you've grabbed hold of and you're not letting go. You will not let go because you're coming out of that showroom with a car.
Yeah.
You're coming out of this life having had a great job and a great career. You're coming out of this life having had a lot of friends and a lot of fun. You're coming out of this life healthy and fit because that's what you want. That's the benefits that you want to enjoy. So that's what you've laid hold of. That's what you're not letting go of. And all those other negative thoughts, those discouraging thoughts, they just kind of, it's amazing that when you become intentional, and that's what we're talking about, is not being impulsive, but being intentional. When you start being intentional in areas of your life, it's amazing how some of those competing thoughts and competing beliefs just start to kind of fade. The noise starts to go away. And then it settles into a discipline, it settles into a lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. And when we say fit, we're not talking about, being a fitness model or a, six-pack or whatever.
We're talking about being healthy.
We're talking about being healthy, especially if you're around our age. If you're 40 or over, let's just say that. It's time. You think, oh, I still got lots of time left. I can do whatever I want. Well, what you are doing now will get you later, okay? So it is better to just start now wherever you are and start eating healthy, thinking right about it. We mess up. I mess up all the time. I think what started with us is when I had my heart had issues a few years ago. I think a lot of you know about that. And I had a defibrillator pacemaker put in. When was that?
2.5 years ago.
2.5 years ago. Boy, time flies. Well, anyway, to keep me alive, okay? And so doctor says, you need to eat right. You need to exercise.
3.5 years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 2016.
It was when Ben graduated from high school.
Yeah, it was his graduation weekend. That's when it was.
She got her pacemaker put in on Friday night.
Yeah.
We went to high school graduation on Sunday.
I had a sling on, so I wouldn't been walking real slow. But yeah, I was going to make sure I was there, But anyway, doctor wants you to do this. He wants you to, not eat salt or do this or do that. Do what he tells you to do, all right? Because, having your health, we always say this, it's everything. If you don't have your health, you have nothing basically. Okay. So, health is everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's the benefit that we all want to enjoy. That's why $98 billion a year are being spent on health and fitness in this country. So again, I hope that some of this helped, as we talk more about your beliefs and how that affects your behavior and how your behaviors lead to the benefits that you want. So just remember, don't be impulsive. Don't be led around by the crowd. Don't be, just sleepwalking or going through life on autopilot, but just wake yourself up, take stock of your thoughts, break it down between the helpful ones and the hurtful ones, or even the helpful ones versus the neutral ones. And then once you've identified what's really helpful and what really helps get you closer to your goal, then commit. Those are the ABCs of being intentional. Awareness, break it down, commit. And commit like that person who's grabbed hold of that car in the showroom and is not going to let go. If I have to wear a diaper, I'll wear a diaper, but you're not gonna get my hands off of this car. So anyway,
grab hold. Y'all aren't going to forget that story. Grab hold of that car.
If I see y'all, that's what I'm going to ask you. I'm going to say, you still got your hands all over that car? You still got your diaper on?
Christine, that was her thing. Christine down. Way to go, Christine. Now we're gonna ask everybody if they still have their diaper on. That's a good one.
That's a good way of saying it. I'm committed.
We'll have to get t-shirts. You still got your diaper
There you
on.
go. I got my diaper on.
I got my diaper on.
They see, they'll kind of think, well, they look to be about, in their mid-50s, so I can understand that.
Oh my gosh, y'all. Okay.
But if somebody says, hey, are you committed? Is that something you're really committed to? Say, man, I'll tell you what, I'm committed to the point I've got my diaper on.
There you go. I love that.
I am not letting go. I am not moving from this. You can't move me out of this spot. Because I'm winning. This is one little contest here that I'm winning.
Right.
So
right.
That's what commitment is, and that's what belief is. That's what you move from the area of information to the area of belief.
Go.
So there you go.
Amen.
Dork.
I feel like I'm in a church. He called me a dork.
You go, amen.
All right, guys. Anybody have any questions before we go tonight?
Some of these folks came on late. I noticed some people joining in the middle or the end of the conversation.
Yeah.
Go back and watch this one. I think this one had some valuable information on it.
Yeah, it really did.
So I encourage you to go back to the beginning and watch the whole thing.
Preach. We got Michelle. This is our congregation here.
Oh boy.
They're yelling. Hallelujah. All right. Okay. If y'all have any questions, let us know, and we'll go back over and find the questions if you have them, but we'll let you guys go. Have a good evening. I know all of you are wanting to watch the debate. I'm just kidding.
I saw Julia was on a while ago.
Yeah.
Julia still on there?
She goes, give me the ABC again.
The ABC was, first of all, awareness. In other words,
awareness.
You're not sleepwalking. You're not on cruise control. All of a sudden, you're aware. You're paying attention. B, break it down. Break down your thoughts between helpful and valuable versus neutral or detrimental or hurtful. Think about it like this. What beliefs get you closer to your goals? What beliefs get you further away from your goals?
Yeah.
And then after that, the C is commit.
Commit.
Which means commit resources, time, money, and energy. Something that's worthwhile enough that you're willing to spend money, change your schedule, rearrange your life for.
And the D is diaper.
Perfect. That's what the t-shirt needs to say. D is for diaper.
And then Michelle said the debate made me have more health issues. Oh my goodness, y'all are bad. Yeah, Charlene says commit. So we're going to commit to this, okay? We're going to do this. She says high blood pressure. Yeah, seriously. I just can't look. Oh, that's so funny. Y'all are hilarious too. We love getting on here and talking to you guys and chatting it up and everything. So you guys have a good weekend this weekend. Remember, tomorrow night we're going to do the drawing. And so invite some more friends and family and make sure that they know that they are being invited to this page so they can accept the invitation and you can be in the drawing, okay? And Valerie says, thank you. Everybody's saying thank you. Thank you, love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Charlie comes up with some good stuff for us to think about, right? All right. All right. Talk to you guys later. Love to all. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, here we go.